Hello, all my aliens, and welcome to the call center at the end of the universe. I am your host, the CS Guy, and this is the Water Cooler Review, Season 1, Episode 4, Batman Returns from 1992. Will we use one of our 9 lives watching this? So we just got done watching Batman Returns. You had Danny DeVito as the Penguin, Michelle Pfeiffer as Catwoman, Christopher Walken as Max Shrek, and Michael Keaton is back once again for the Batman. He doesn't have Robin yet, so he came back. Once again, I had saw this movie back in the theaters when this came out in '92, and I did watch this a few more times, more than I had watched the first Batman back then. I had watched this a lot of times. And not because this was like the greatest movie ever, is why we watch this all the time. You're actually on the greatest movie ever comment. We're going to get to that in just a little bit. But the reason this was watched numerous and many times, we were introduced to Michelle Pfeiffer as Catwoman. And the moment she dons the Catwoman suit of the black spandex, every teenage boy everywhere rejoiced in harmony. This was lot of teenage boy fantasies and probably some adults, including this guy back then. Meow. Yeah, she was that alone definitely will get you through this film. You do see her several times in the black spandex that clings everywhere, and you kind of forget about how bad some of this can be. And they even give her some good lines like, "I'm no cat, I'm just a secretary," and "I don't know about you, Miss Kitty, but I feel so much yummier." And gentle, it is my first time. Yes, please, Michelle Pfeiffer. We do feel yummier. So, but that was Catwoman, so enough of that. We got Michael Keaton back as the Bat. And we have another new woman, and if we didn't learn from the first one, that means, hey, we got a new woman and another person to learn the secret of who is Batman. Um, so this kind of humorous secret, still kind of loosely guarded. If I was a supervillain and I was trying to eliminate Batman, I would be a woman or get a woman, get him as close to Batman as I can. Let Batman fall in love with him because Batman's going to tell her, "Hey, I am Bruce Wayne." And then she comes back and tells me, and then just eliminate Batman. Um, so yeah, that's how apparently it's very easy to kill Batman in these early versions. Um, it does make it bearable with the chemistry that Michael Keaton and Michelle Pfeiffer kind of has, with the whole Batman Catwoman kind of where being frenemies is probably the best word, being frenemies as far as, oh, you're my enemy, but you're also my friend and everything else. I thought that was really well done. And then we have our good old buddy Alfred is back, and we couldn't be happier. He has great lines once again. It's like, must you only be the only lonely beast man in town? And he was talking about when you kind of learn with everything. So Alfred does make this bearable. Like I said, it's going to be a running theme here for the next couple with Alfred. We're very happy to have him in there and how they've done with him. Danny DeVito is the Penguin, and he did okay with him. I actually, up until recently, when I watched the new Batman, and you can definitely go check out that review that will be coming. I was like okay with this Penguin until I met that version. So the DC film universe, were basically 30 years from when this came out, we are being introduced to a whole lot better Penguin with how he looks, acts, and everything else. And Danny DeVito. At the time, was he a good fit for the Penguin? Was kind of what they were doing. Yeah, that's fine. They gave him a few lines like, "Who needs hands as long as you have a heart?" Graphics started to take a little bit of a back seat, as far too, and you had the classic movie stuff like the big obvious propane tank that says gas. You know, once again, we lived in a different world back then, and it's the second movie in the row that Batman kind of makes fun of a woman's weight. This time with Catwoman, but it's Batman. It's okay, right? Well, apparently it's not. This movie does kind of end that trend. So there may have been even backlash from it at the time. I was a teenage boy. I was too focused on Catwoman. I don't remember, but this is kind of the last one, and we get that little jab per se. One of the most funniest moments was a part where the Penguin's henchmen are about to kill a bunch of kids, and he just kind of stops, and he's like, "Hey, boss, really?" And he just walks away. Yeah, I was just like, hey, you just all of a sudden you had like, we were so used to henchman of the evil person just going and doing what the boss says. This henchman's like, hey, nah, man, help. He's like, screw this. He's like, really? No, I'm out of here. And I was like, that's probably when we could start talking back to our bosses. You can see I'm talking about this stuff with kind of how bad this was. Um, you know, Disappointing fight scenes, basically overall. Um, the secrecy once again is out the door. Um, Another bright spot is you had Christopher Walken and as Max Schrick. I love him as his actor and his accent. He did a really good job as well too. He made some of the Penguin and Danny DeVito stuff bearable. So overall, if it really wasn't for this cast, this would have been in the cat suit. This would have been really rough to finish it. Um, we did in fact lose one of our 9 lives getting through this, and for our rating, I am going to give this a 3.4 out of 10. Story is pretty good and it's halfway decent. It's one you can definitely watch and enjoy. It's decent, so we'll definitely give that a 3.4. So thank you for watching this episode of the Water Cooler Review. Make sure to go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button here on YouTube. It's really going to help me out. It's really going to, it's going to help with the analytics and everything else of that. But my therapist once said, if you gotta go with a smile. Thank you.